Hello, dear viewers. Recent events in the world have left me feeling somewhat heavy. There's a weight that's settled in my heart, a weight born from personal loss and the collective sorrow of the world around me. It's a feeling that's not unfamiliar, but it's been heightened recently, amplified by the struggles that we, as a global community, are facing. There's a term for this, a phrase that encapsulates this layered, complex emotion. It's called compound grief. It's grief, but it's grief that's tangled with other losses, other stressors. It's like a heavy woolen blanket that wraps around you, woven with the threads of multiple heartaches. Let me share a bit of my story with you. I've experienced loss. I've said goodbye to people I love, to places that held cherished memories. That's grief. But when the world around me seems to be filled with despair, when every news headline is a new tragedy, that grief is compounded. It's no longer just about my personal loss. It's about the collective loss, the collective pain. That's compound grief. Compound grief is different from regular grief. It's not just about mourning a single loss. It's about grappling with multiple losses, with multiple stressors, all at the same time. It's about trying to navigate your own personal sorrow while also dealing with the weight of the world's sorrow. It's about feeling your heart break for your own loss, and then feeling it break again for the losses of others. This is what I've been feeling lately. This is what's been weighing on my heart, and I know I'm not alone in this. I know there are many of you out there who are also dealing with compound grief, who are trying to make sense of your own losses, while also grappling with the pain of the world around you. This personal exploration led me to delve deeper into the concept of compound grief, and it's what we'll be discussing today. To help us understand more about compound grief, I sought the insights of experts in the field. Esteemed psychologist Dr. Jane Rogers explains, compound grief is like experiencing a series of emotional earthquakes, each new loss or stressful event triggering aftershocks from previous losses. It can be incredibly overwhelming and can make the process of healing much more complex. Next, we have grief counselor Mr. John Peterson, who sheds light on how compound grief can manifest. Compound grief may not always be immediately recognizable. Its symptoms can be subtle, often masquerading as fatigue, anxiety, or even physical illness. It's a silent, heavy burden that individuals carry around, often without even realizing it. Dr. Emily Chen, a renowned psychiatrist, emphasizes the uniqueness of everyone's grief journey. No two individuals experience grief in the same way, and this holds true for compound grief as well. The way it affects a person can depend on their resilience, social support, and personal coping mechanisms. It's a deeply personal and individual experience. World-renowned grief expert Dr. Samuel Lewis adds, compound grief can feel like a perpetual cycle of mourning. Just as one begins to navigate through their grief, another loss or stressful event can send them spiraling back into the depths of sorrow. This can make it challenging for those affected to see a way forward. Counselor Maria Gonzalez offers a hopeful perspective. Despite the complexity of compound grief, it's important to remember that healing is possible. Yes, it might take longer and require more support, but with the right tools and resources, individuals can navigate through their compounded losses. As we hear from these experts, it becomes evident that compound grief is not just an intensified form of grief. It's a layered, multifaceted emotional experience that can deeply impact those already dealing with loss. As we can see, compound grief is a complex issue that deeply affects individuals who are already dealing with loss. World events, particularly negative ones, can exacerbate feelings of grief. Imagine grappling with personal loss and then being bombarded with distressing news from around the globe. Wars, natural disasters, or even economic downturns can stir up a whirlwind of emotions, making the grief journey even more complex. These events can act as triggers, bringing painful memories to the surface. They can also magnify the sense of loss, as the world itself seems to be in a state of mourning. This can make the process of healing and acceptance more challenging, especially for those experiencing compound grief. In the face of such adversity, the grief can feel insurmountable. The constant barrage of negative news can feel like a relentless tide, making it harder to keep your head above the water of sorrow. It's clear that the world around us can have a profound effect on our personal grief journey. While compound grief can be overwhelming, there are ways to cope and find support. In this sea of sorrow, you might feel like you're adrift. but know that there are lifeboats out there for you. One such lifeboat is professional help. Therapists, counselors, and grief coaches are trained to help you navigate your feelings and find ways to move forward. They can provide you with tools and strategies to handle your grief and help you understand and process the complex emotions you're experiencing. Support groups, both online and offline, are another valuable resource. They provide a safe space where you can share your feelings with others who are experiencing similar losses. This kind of peer support can be incredibly comforting and validating. It can help you realize that you're not alone, that others understand what you're going through, and that it's okay to feel the way you do. But just as you would tend to a physical wound, it's equally important to practice self-care when coping with compound grief. This might mean ensuring you're eating nourishing meals, getting regular exercise, and trying to maintain a regular sleep schedule. It could also mean taking time each day to do something you enjoy or find soothing, whether that's reading a book, taking a walk, or simply sitting quietly. Acknowledging your feelings is also crucial. It's natural to want to push away the painful emotions that come with grief. But remember, it's okay to feel sad, angry, confused, or scared. These feelings are a normal part of the grieving process. Try to let yourself feel them without judgment. And lastly, don't hesitate to reach out to others. Talk to friends, family members, or a trusted confidant about what you're going through. Sometimes, just having someone listen can make a world of difference. Remember, it's okay to seek help and take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey. In understanding compound grief, we can better navigate our feelings and support those around us. Through understanding the depth of our pain, acknowledging the profound impact of world events, and identifying effective coping mechanisms, we can begin to heal. It's crucial to remember that compound grief is a heavy burden. There is always help available. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to seek help. You are not alone. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it.